What's going on, everybody? It's Patrick, Mid-10 Outdoors. How's my outdoor crew doing? Hope this video is finding you well. I told you I was going to do you an update video on what all happened to the Titan, what had to be fixed, what I broke, and what. And let me start off with, nothing that happened to the Titan is due to manufacturer's fault. It's purely on me. I didn't see the hole. I hit it, destroyed it. That's what happened. So let's go over some things and we'll go in depth on different parts that happened. I made mention, I think in the last video, or in that video that day, that it looked like to me the bolts weren't right on the hub. And well, I was correct. I stretched the bolts on the hub. That's how bad the hub was messed up. So yes, it had to have a new wheel hub and bolts. So that was done. Now, we'll say the fella at the tire place that does all the work on this, Pew's 5-Star Tire and Service, is who does all my work on my Titan. They keep this thing on the road for me. Said after they saw that, they wished I hadn't driven it because I was taking my life in my own hands. I said, dude, I did 80 miles an hour on I-24, whatever it was, coming out of Kentucky into Tennessee and to the house. So I never, never thought that this thing could go passing me on the interstate, but it could have. It could have completely come off and been by. So, hub had to be replaced. It was done. The next thing was the Bilstein shock. Now, I run Bilstein 5100s all the way around this truck. The front two are adjustable coilovers that go from 1 inch to a 3-inch lift. They're maxed out at 3-inch to get the levelness of the truck. Destroyed this side shock. When I say destroyed it, knocked some bushings out of it, did some other damage to it. They still don't understand how I didn't destroy a wheel and tire, how I didn't bend an A-arm, how I didn't bend tie rod ends, or any of that. None of that was hurt. They even put this thing on an alignment machine to make sure it's still aligned, and it was. I mean, they lined up fine. It was nothing wrong. So, alignment-wise, and wheel and tire, and I'll have to speak for these Maxxis tires that I run on this truck, this second set. This is the Maxxis 771s, the Bravo ATs. They took a hell of a hit, which destroyed a shock and a wheel hub, but didn't destroy a wheel and tire, which is amazing. It's amazing I didn't destroy a tire, especially. But I'll tell you something about the Maxxis tires. So yes, I highly recommend the Maxxis tire. Took a beating. So far, I mean, there's no broken belts or anything in the tire. There's no bulging or anything. So didn't destroy a tire, didn't destroy a wheel, which really blows my mind. The Bilstein shock. Let me tell you about that. Bilstein stands behind their warranty. Bilstein stands behind their product. So would I recommend Bilstein 5100s to anybody on any of their off-road rigs? Yes, I would. Especially if you're doing overlanding or if you're doing light to moderate stuff like I do. And even Bill's Jeep is running Bilstein 5100s, and you look where all we put it, and he's never had a problem with the shocks. So the fact is, they called Bilstein on Monday afternoon, told them what was going on, 2-day delivery. They had a brand new setup ready to go in the truck, which it got put in on Friday, but hey, it was put in. Because they had to do something else. The starter died on this thing and they had to put a new starter on it too. But I'm just proud of the choices I made on suspension parts I put back on this truck. When I put the shocks on it, I put the Bilstein to get that lift and to get that ride. And anybody can tell you, riding in this truck now with the Bilsteins, they do what they're supposed to do. They do everything they're supposed to do. They took a hell of a punishment, and luckily I didn't destroy the back or anything. The back's fine, didn't hurt it any. It messed this one up. But they stood behind their warranty, they replaced it, and here we are. I drove it last night all the way up to the other side of Goodlettsville to the drag races. Not a problem. She brakes fine, drives fine, feels really good. And you know, hit the interstate yesterday, 80 miles an hour. She cruises right along, not pulling, not nothing. Just driving like it should. So it was all my fault. But I appreciate the warranties behind products, the people behind the products. Pew's 5-star, you know, they helped me out, did me a solid getting this thing back on the road. They know I do a lot of work out of this truck, I film out of this truck, you know, venture out of this truck, and I appreciate them and getting it done quick. Just got to keep these peepers on the road now. That's the big thing, is keep my eyes on the road. That's the main thing. But anyways, guys, that's it for this one. I appreciate you watching. The Titan's back in service. The Titan's back ready to go back. Am I going to go back to Land Between the Lakes? Yeah, wearing my shirt today. I'm going back there. And we'll see you soon on the next one. Appreciate you watching. Thanks for subscribing and sharing for all the new subscribers. And we will get back to doing this stuff and doing other things. I got a couple of cameras I want to bring to you. Be prepared. See you on the next one. Later.